of a successful racing pigeon. In order to breed champion racing pigeons, it is crucial to understand the factors and qualities that determine a pigeon's ability to win races. Taking a unique approach to the matter may help us uncover the essential truths about winners. This process may involve dissecting the winning image, stripping away all non-essential distractions, and focusing solely on the necessary attributes. These attributes must be firmly established and serve as the foundation for all future breeding endeavors. To create winners, we must rebuild the pigeon by progressively identifying the bare essentials. The non-essential features that often accompany winners are the distractions we need to eliminate. Our primary objective is to identify the key factors that are indispensable for a pigeon to become a winner. This article aims to uncover those factors. Before delving deeper, let's clarify our understanding of winning in pigeon racing to ensure we are all on the same page. First consideration. In every race, there are leaders and followers. Recognizing true leaders is relatively straightforward since their racing results confirm their status. Identifying followers, on the other hand, is more challenging. Followers are birds that occasionally remain with the leading pack and may even win races. However, the key aspect is the repeatability of their performance. If a supposed winner fails to replicate its success in subsequent races, it is likely a follower and should be removed from the team at the earliest opportunity. Second perception. In a group race, all birds that are part of the first group to arrive near their lofts are considered winners. It is crucial to acknowledge the abilities of all birds in the leading pack, even if there are 10 or 20 of them. Of course, this recognition assumes the understanding outlined in the first consideration. It disregards the influence of position, wind, water masses, and other external factors intentionally. Attributes of a winner. Now, let's explore what it takes to be a winner. For simplicity, let's focus on middle distance winners, typically covering distances of approximately 400 to 600 kilometers on windless days. These birds are more likely to succeed in these races, but that doesn't mean they cannot win in other conditions. Our next step is to eliminate irrelevant factors one by one and discuss their roles. Wings. Undoubtedly, wings are necessary for a pigeon, but is one wing design superior to another? After studying numerous pigeons, including successful and less successful ones, it seems that winners possess a few essential wing features. Unfortunately for wing enthusiasts, those same features can also be found in non-winners. There are occasional exceptions. Muscle. Winners often exhibit supple musculature, but surprisingly, this feature can also be observed in some non-winners. The term usually applies because there are instances where a winning pigeon's musculature feels doughy and heavy instead of the required spongy, resilient, and weightless type. Other physical characteristics. Typically, winning birds are well balanced with a firm constitution, where the back and tail form a unified structure. The tail neither lifts nor drags. However, there are exceptions, and the range of physical variations in pigeons can be astonishing. Let's address these exceptions first. If it is believed that good pigeons must possess specific wing designs, muscle types, or other physical essentials, it becomes puzzling to comprehend how pigeons that don't conform to these standards can still win races. This has confounded many pigeon fanciers and complicated the quest for winners. The answer lies in the concept of cost. The cost of a winning performance can be measured by the recovery period, which can sometimes be significantly prolonged. The ill-equipped winner bears a heavier cost. As repeatability of performance is crucial in evaluating a racer's worth, winners must quickly recover from exertion and be ready to compete again. However, winners with imperfections may have the correct mindset but lack the ability to repeat their performance promptly. Racing successfully with limitations demands more effort than it would if the pigeon were better equipped for the task. The eye. Finally, we come to the eye. While we agree that a bird requires good eyesight, is there any other feature beyond that which could enhance its racing performance compared to its competitors? If the answer is no, we need not delve further into the eye. However, if the answer is yes, we must explore how it could influence racing. Is it possible that something in the eye strengthens the pigeon's homing capabilities? Among the possibilities, this seems the most likely, but it would only make the pigeon a good homing bird rather than a racer. Could this eye feature accelerate the pigeon's desire to return home, thus encouraging it to hasten its homeward journey? If so, why and how? It could prove beneficial if the bird consistently finds the correct way home. Does the eye feature enhance flying speed? It is challenging to imagine how a feature in the eye could directly influence the speed of racing, which is largely controlled by muscular factors. Could this eye feature enhance the bird's strength, endurance, and capability to return home? It is difficult to see how any eye feature could impact muscle strength and staying power. The recognition of this mystical eye feature is clouded by a haze of contradictions and arguments. The eye theory was first proposed by Gigot over a century ago, but it was later revived by S.W.E. Bishop. Carney in the UK and Barkle in South Africa have recently championed this theory, among many others worldwide. Joyce in South Africa conducted a comprehensive study of the eye but found no evidence beyond increased pigment, which appeared to correlate positively with major winners. The Great Paradox. The great paradox lies in the fact that although Carney, Bishop, and subsequent experts claim to have discovered the secret of good racers or breeders in the eye, they did not always describe the same feature. While Bishop focused on so-called eye sign and made no reference to the pigmented circle around the pupil circumference, modern eye experts base their hypotheses primarily on this structure. Carney, Barkle, and others divide the eye into 5 circles and form their opinions based on the relative strength, presence, or absence of these circles. Different names have been assigned to the structures seen in the iris, resulting in a multitude of ideas, beliefs, and theories. The only shared aspect is that they all find the answer to their quest within the iris of the eye. Could any one of them, or perhaps all of them, be correct? During the search for the perfect racer, other phenomena have been observed but not given serious consideration. However, the consequences of their presence or absence align with the main features discussed earlier. Breeding. Breeding becomes relatively straightforward when physical measurable features can be selected for. By adhering to strict selection criteria and maintaining a high turnover rate in pigeon breeding colonies, it is possible to fix desired physical traits within a family. This principle applies to any aspect of the eye as well. One only needs to look at various fancy pigeon breeds or the numerous artificially created chicken breeds as examples. However, progress in racing pigeon breeding has been relatively slow. The fundamental reason behind this lies in the fact that mental capabilities are more critical than physical attributes. Without the correct mental makeup, a pigeon can never become a leader. Even if it possesses all the physical prerequisites for being a champion racer, without a clear sense of homeward direction and a strong desire to return home, it holds no value. Thus, the essential foundation for all racing pigeons lies in their mental capabilities, which encompass homing ability, the will to win, endurance, and more. These mental capabilities must form the solid basis upon which the entire breeding endeavor rests. Where can we find this solid foundation? In the pedigree. A pedigree is a description of the pigeon's family but holds no value if the achievements of the immediate ancestry are not recorded. It's important to note that pedigrees can take various forms. For example, if a pigeon is purchased and the buyer is informed about or shown the parents, grandparents, and their accomplishments, it constitutes a fully acceptable pedigree, even without written documentation. However, one must be cautious as every pigeon on Earth has a pedigree in the sense that they have parents and grandparents. Without documenting the racing and/or breeding achievements of the forebears, the pedigree is essentially useless. On the other hand, if someone receives a pair of offspring from a renowned pigeon like Kleine Didi with no other information, it still qualifies as a valid pedigree because everyone is aware of Kleine Didi's achievements. In this case, nothing is written down, but a complete pedigree is present. In conclusion, the pedigree is crucial because breeding is a numbers game. If the pedigree includes numerous winners among the ancestors, the chances of producing winners among the offspring improve. It is widely accepted that breeding from a mediocre bird with below-average performance within an outstanding family is more favorable than relying on an exceptional bird from a mediocre family, even if it surpasses the average performance of its relatives. For those aiming to breed winning racing pigeons, it is essential to start with the family and determine whether there are winners, and how many, among the immediate relatives. Then, physical features can be selected while ensuring that the winning mentality is never compromised. Please let me know if you have any further questions or if there's anything else I can assist you with. You select, the more you win. Making a selection in your loft comes down to selecting the birds that would form the strongest team for the racing season. A strict selection is important to have a good breed in the future. It helps you to find the good breeders in your loft who breed the best young birds, of which the value increases year after year. During the long winter nights, many fanciers take the time to think about the best possible couplings, the best birds in the loft, and the best selection method. You should find the right answer to safeguard the future of your breeding loft and to have a successful racing season, which will be coming sooner than you think. A good selection should allow you to compose a team that consists of the best possible racing pigeons in your loft. But in order to do this, you should first of all decide what kind of team you are looking for. This means you have to determine what type of races you will be doing during the season and look for the pigeons that are best suited for this and that will yield the best results. If you manage to select the pigeons that are best suited for the competitions of your choice, you might have a successful season ahead. When you have selected a racing team for next season, you will also have to pay attention to the age of your pigeons. If you want to aim for the long distance races, for instance, you should look for a large team of older birds. This is because the physical strength of the bird is not all that matters in a long-distance race. An equally important aspect is their degree of experience and their resistance, which often compensates for the lack in dynamism, which is typical of an old bird. This also explains why a long-distance fancier should have a lot of birds in his loft that can last for quite some time, especially if he wants to win top prizes regularly. His pigeons should not be past their best as soon as they have done some more demanding races. They should gain experience in these races and they should be able to do well in any weather condition. Obviously, this does not apply to sprint racers. Thanks to weather forecast services, the internet and other innovations, most sprint races take place in good weather. This means experience is not that important to a sprint race pigeon. A strong spirit and quick navigational abilities are the most important skills for a sprint racer. Young birds usually have a strong spirit. A young bird is driven by dynamism and is likely to be more motivated compared to the older pigeons. We should not forget that the same applies when you prepare your pigeons for next season. We have already discussed this in our article about widowhood. The point is that a difficult flight has a considerable impact on the nervous system of a young bird, whereas a dyed-in-the-wool old bird with plenty of experience is not likely to be disturbed by a flight in difficult conditions. The navigational system of a pigeon is an innate ability, which the fancier can improve with training flights. If a sprint racer has well-developed navigational abilities, his experience from previous flights will only play a minor role here. Which birds should stay, which should not? A difficult question. As we said earlier, a fancier who will only play sprint races should make sure he has a racing team that consists of mostly young birds. We think fanciers should not focus on the number of prizes they can win but on the value of the prizes they win. A fancier has nothing to lose when he replaces an old, tired pigeon that can only win a few low prizes by a young and motivated bird with a promising future ahead. This means that a fancier who wants to do shorter distance races should have high-quality breeders so he can always have new young birds to replace the older ones. But there is one exception: you should not replace older birds if their performance does not decrease over the years and if they are still fit. Besides, you should keep in mind that older birds that are still fit and vital are not only great racers, they are also invaluable in the breeding loft. It would be wise to no longer let them do races as soon as they show signs of weakness. The same applies to long-distance pigeons. We will run through the important factors when it comes to selecting the birds: their health, the molt, a good origin, outside appearance, the nervous system, the bird's behavior in the loft and during a flight. It is up to the fancier to make a judgment about his pigeons based on observations and checkups in the loft. These observations are more valuable than any theory. An excellent sprint race fancier told us this: every time he enters the loft he would take the time to take a careful look at the behavior of his pigeons in the loft. Some of them would get up a 1.50 meter high box with 6 or 7 wing strokes, other much more nervous birds only need 3 to 4 strokes. He knows from experience that the best birds will be the ones that only need 3 to 4 strokes. Any fancier can learn important things from observing his pigeons in the loft. Those who have a thorough knowledge of the pigeon can judge its physical features fairly easily. Think of the bird's balance, its skeleton, its muscles, the wings, its feathers and its vitality. Unfortunately, some other features cannot be seen with the naked eye, which makes it much more difficult to judge them. The inner organs of a pigeon include its heart, lungs, liver, glands, and intestines and have a considerable influence on the performance of a pigeon as well. It is very difficult to judge the quality of the inner organs from the outside. So it is impossible to find out if the organs of a pigeon are functioning correctly. But there is something else we should take into consideration: the physical strength of a pigeon influences its performance as well. Even when a pigeon has a perfect build and a perfect health, it is still uncertain whether it will be a successful one. When it has everything it takes to become a successful racer but it lacks a strong spirit and navigational abilities, the pigeon will never become successful. At this point, a fancier who is always committed, who breeds, studies and trains his pigeons and who knows the origins of his birds will be the only person who can make a correct judgment about his pigeons. A selection in the hand is a good method to estimate the value of a bird. But nowadays there are too many birds that do not last very long. The reason is that fanciers are only looking to the psychic characteristics, its intelligence, of a bird without paying attention to the other aspects. If you want to become successful, you have to be a good breeder and a good player. A bird should develop its intelligence, willpower and physical strength simultaneously if you want it to make progress. We have seen birds who could immediately find the shortest way home and who were very motivated to reach their loft as soon as possible. But if that bird does not have the strength to do this a few times in a row, it will never become a successful racer. The ultimate aim is to combine the two elements in your bloodlines: physical strength and psychic qualities, intelligence. A fancier will never become successful in sprint races if he neglects the physical characteristics of his birds. On the other hand, a long-distance fancier who neglects the intelligence and the psychic qualities of his pigeons will never become successful either. If you want your pigeons to improve, you have to pay attention to both strength and intelligence. First of all, you have to judge your pigeon in the hand. You should try to get a clear idea of its physical strength and the bird's overall fitness. At the same time, you should also make sure that the pigeons of your bloodlines have a high degree of intelligence, a lot of determination and good navigational abilities. If you can manage to select your birds with that in mind, and if you can breed strong and intelligent birds season after season, you will end up with a high percentage of top-class birds in your loft. Your racing team will only consist of birds that are strong and intelligent enough to do the most demanding races. I'm an experienced ex-pigeon racer from England, and I can offer valuable insights and guidance on all aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to racing. During my racing days, I managed a small team of no more than 70 pigeons, including stock, young birds, and old birds. It was not uncommon for me to send as few as 6 birds to a race and still secure the top 3 positions out of up to 2,500 pigeons in my club and federation. My race distances typically ranged up to 300 miles, and I consistently achieved top 5 placements in my club. My expertise extends to the art of selecting excellent breeders, including evaluating pigeons based on their eye-sign characteristics. I firmly believe that true champions can only be bred from top-quality stock, and I can guide you in identifying and acquiring such pigeons. I understand that many pigeons for sale are advertised based on their lineage or pedigree, but I emphasize the importance of assessing the bird itself rather than relying solely on paperwork. As part of my offer, I invite you to share photos of your pigeons, including their eye sign and wing characteristics. I'll provide you with free advice on racing and breeding based on my extensive experience and knowledge. Additionally, I will share auction links to high-quality breeding birds that have the potential to produce winners in your loft. Here's what you can expect to receive from me: a comprehensive Word document containing valuable insights and strategies for successful pigeon racing, including specific racing methods for both old and young birds, as well as general advice. Private YouTube videos sent to your email, covering various aspects of pigeon racing, from breeding to race preparation. Detailed recommendations on supplements and additives to add to your pigeons' drinking water, with scientific evidence supporting their effectiveness. Similar products are used by professional athletes and racehorses to enhance performance. Assurance that your pigeons will race home faster, provided that you have quality birds to begin with. While I can provide guidance, it's essential to start with pigeons of good genetic quality. Guidance on feeding schedules and methods, tailored from Sunday to Saturday, to optimize your pigeon's performance. The understanding that there are no big secrets or magical products that guarantee success in pigeon racing. Instead, success hinges on developing a racing system that suits your loft and pigeons. I'm committed to providing full support even after you receive this information, as I want to see you succeed in pigeon racing. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need further assistance. Remember, the key to winning in pigeon racing lies in knowledge, dedication, and continuous improvement.